Go fast single, let's go. 1, 2, really good, really good.
Take it back!
Come on, come on, come on! Rib cage's gonna come down. Large. Hello.
What's up guys, Nick Wright here with my all-time favorite lifter and my coach and a 2-time IPF world champion powerlifter, Brett Gibbs. 25 years old, 183 pound weight class, that's 83 kilograms. You've won Junior Worlds.
Yeah, Junior Worlds 2014 and 2015, the Open Worlds.
So just to give you a quick recap, really fast. Brett lifts raw currently. He's done equipped lifting as well, but he talked about that in a second. He killed it in that as well, but he currently does raw lifting, which is just a belt, wrist wraps, and knee sleeves. Yep. No wraps, nothing else. His best numbers ever in the gym meet ever, really quick, a 661 pound squat.
Yeah, 300 kilos.
Your best bench is 458 pounds?
Nah, 464.
I forgot he did 464.
210 kilos, I've done that twice.
464 pound bench at 180 something pounds body weight. That's insane. And then what's your best deadlift ever?
705 is my best.
705 pounds. And you've
both in the gym and competition.
So you've done the in and meet, and you've come really, really close to locking out as high as 722 pounds?
Yeah, I think 727 was the closest I've been to getting over 705. I just missed that 330 kilo pull at the Arnold champs. Pretty much just failed it on grip really. It was my left hand was coming undone right at lockout. And yeah, that's just part of deadlifting, I guess.
So at 180, roughly, you walk around at what, 185?
I'm normally, so 183 is about 83 kilo. I'm normally around 85 kilo, so that's around 185 to 187ish is my general morning weight.
So walking around 180s somewhere, yeah. 25 years old, raw, natural, competes in drug tested powerlifting, totaling over 1,800 pounds in the gym and totaling high 1,700s in the meet.
Yeah.
1,800 pounds, that's over 10 times your body weight. That is insane. Brett is by far, hands down, one of the strongest raw powerlifters out there, pound for pound, especially in the drug tested world. How long have you been training?
I've been training since 2006, I believe was my first year in the gym.
How did you get started?
Basically, the way I got started was I was skateboarding one day and fell backwards. I was just learning a new move. Was basically jumping over a spine or like a transfer, and I came up, did it for my second or third time, and fell backwards. And I went to push myself up with my right arm, and I realised it was just dangling there, and I just absolutely shattered my right humerus. I still remember really, really clearly, and in a lot of pain. My arm just swelled up, and basically I was in cast for about 4 to 6 weeks, and it was over the summer period. So basically I sat here like this for 4 to 6 weeks, got it out of cast. I went back to school, so I was about 15, 16 at the time, and we were at like PE, so like a sports hour at college, and I had to throw the javelin. So my teacher was just like, Brett, just throw the javelin. And basically what had happened is my arm wouldn't extend. I wouldn't be able to actually extend it. I only had like partial extension because
it was in the cast?
Yeah, because my arm had been locked up like this for so long. And I went to throw the javelin, and the thing with me at school is like, and probably even still now, I've got a really big ego. I love to like be the best and do the best I can in like every sport. I can never play like friendly games of anything, so when my teacher was like, oh, just throw it just to get a mark and we can move on, I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And I remember just running up to throw the javelin, and I just threw it as hard as I could, and obviously that force, that pressure just wanted my arm to extend, and it just broke the bone again. So the second time in like 6 to 8 weeks I'd broken my arm, and I was in cast again for another 4 to 6 weeks. So I went to the physio, and she referred me to the gym, and I started training from there. That was in 2006, maybe even 2005.
And then you just realized that you were really good at powerlifting and loved it?
Basically what I did is for the first year, I trained only bench press, arms, shoulders, literally, and I was just training at a standard commercial gym. I never trained any lower body, anything like that. And then I was at work one day, and one of my colleagues, he asked me to come train at this other gym. So it was more of a private gym. Had a really good reputation for strong people, like bodybuilders being there. and I walked in there one day, and the owner, who was a really well-known bodybuilder, his name's Bevan McKenzie of Wright Gym, he saw me bench pressing one day, and obviously I was reasonably good at it. I was probably pressing maybe 120 to 140 kilo at the time, so about a year's training. And he said, "I'll come train with Spike. He's a really good bench presser." And at the time, this guy Spike, he's a mentor, really idol the guy. He's the guy that got me into it. He was pressing around 220 kilos. So everyone knows who the strongest guy in the gym is when you're training at a local gym. So I started training with them, and about 6 months later, they got me into my first powerlifting comp, which was in June of 2008.
2008, so you were 17?
I was, 16 or 17. Yeah.
And what did you total your first meet?
I don't know what the total was, because I just don't know that off the top of my head, but I know the individual lifts were 185 kilo.
Which is 407 pounds.
Yeah, it was about that, yeah. 137.5 kilo bench press.
302 pounds.
And 215 kilo deadlift. It was either 215 or 220.
Which is 473.
Yeah.
Close to 500.
And I weighed in at 77.8 kilo.
So this is what it feels like to be Ricky for once.
You are definitely one of the most intense lifters. I've been privileged enough to travel around with a bunch of different lifters recently, and each lifter is so different. Like Eric Lillybridge will have a chat with you about whatever and laugh in between sets.
Yeah.
Even if it's about to hit a PR. You are the complete opposite. You are very intense. You said you're incredibly competitive, and you can see it as soon as you walk in the gym. It's not just when you get to your heavy sets. As soon as you walk into the gym and you're just stretching and warming up, you have your headphones on, you're not talking to anybody, not even me. What goes through your head? Where are you going mentally when you're getting ready to lift?
I don't know, man. I'm just like, I can't take that time away to talk to people and like really lose focus of what I'm trying to do. I've always sort of been like that. I don't like wasting my time. I just like to think about what I need to achieve that day, how my body is feeling, and I'm just always trying to visualize how I want that top set to move, or how I want that RPE to move, what sort of weight I want to be on the bar. So I'm really just going through like a visualization process on how I envision things moving that day, and where this workout's taking me through my programming phase. So like whether that's just preparing me for next week's big PR, or whether it's that comp that's in 5 weeks. So just visualization is really what I'm trying to do.
One thing that's interesting, again, I've traveled around with so many different lifters now, and I say this with complete honesty, the only other person I've met who has your mentality when it comes to training is Ronnie Coleman. Believe it or not. Think of all the people I've hung out with, taken pictures with, gotten videos with, out of all of them, Ronnie Coleman, believe it or not, is the only one who has that same savage mentality as you. And it's evident where you guys are just incredibly serious about your craft, you're confident in what you do, and there's no jokes or games. It's literally the definition of savage. And I talked to Brett earlier, and I asked him, when he first won Worlds, what it felt like, and he told me, because different people have different reactions. Hancock cried and broke down. Brett told me that he was just excited that he had hit some PRs that he wanted to hit.
Yeah, basically.
And then Steph, his girlfriend, when you and I all went out to eat, I remember her telling me that you had gone and hit the unofficial world record in the gym on bench one day, and she asked you how your workout went. You just said, "Oh, the workout went well." Didn't even talk about the world record, nothing. You just said that you had a good bench day and it went well. Yeah. So it's evident that unlike a lot of people, you're really just focused on your performance and bettering yourself. You don't really seem to care about the standard, what the status quo is, what the records are, like the meet totals. You just want to be the best you can be better.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that said, my big question is, when you're about to get ready for a PR and you're pacing, we all heard that Brett Gibbs yell, "Come on!" Where are you in your head there when you're looking at that weight before a big PR, before a new PR attempt or a max effort attempt?
Well, it's pretty much just replaying that visualization that I've always done. So, like I remember last year when I was leading up to trying to squat a new big PR, in particular that 300 kilos. Like I just visualized that, and that whole peak, like it was like 8 weeks worth of just intense squatting, like back to back to back each week, and all that whole time I was just running through my head 300 kilos, and I'm thinking about the real small things, like how I approach the bar, where I'm grabbing it, I'm looking at the plates on the bar, where it's sitting on my back, how I walk it out, how heavy is it going to feel, and then my breathing. I'm thinking about all these little things that I'm thinking about putting into place with that specific weight. So it's really just like making sure I can believe it, that I can see it in my head, play it over and over and over again, and then by the time it actually comes around to do it, just making sure you execute on that.
So it's interesting, you're far more intense throughout the entire workout than a lot of other lifters, yet your mental game seems to be a lot more cut and dry. You don't seem to need to go in a dark place or get angry or anything like that.
No, I mean, I have moments like I'm really big on confidence. Like when my confidence is high and I can believe that I can see myself doing it visually, then it's going to happen. I 100% know it's going to happen. But it's as soon as I have to question myself, like if I'm like, oh, I'm not 100% sure about this, then that's when I'm going to need to turn to something like to get really fired up with some music or something like that, or think some dark thoughts and just try and bring out the most in me. And that's but that's when things can turn bad. It's more of a 50-50. So that's where being like I am mentally can also be really positive some days, but also really negative on other days.
Right. So speaking of negativity, you've had definitely a rougher year competitively.
Yeah.
Between Worlds and the Arnolds, you've had pretty much just lower performance meets compared to what you usually have, right?
Yeah.
And would you attribute a lot of that to just not being in a good place mentally? Because you moved out of your own home country and everything this past year, which I don't think a lot of people realize.
Yeah, I made a big change over the last, especially 9 months of training. So it started off, I left New Zealand, I was on the road for 5 weeks. Still got some really good training in. My training was only down to 4 weeks, 4 days a week. I had to rely on other people basically to help get me to the gym. And
you didn't have a car?
I didn't have a car because I couldn't get a license in Canada because I couldn't drive on my New Zealand license. There's a whole rigmarole around that, but we won't get into that. I'm not making excuses.
Right.
Basically, things just didn't go the way I wanted them to.
Yeah.
And I still look at it now, although I did have some bad performances. I mean, I went 5 from 9 at the Arnold's, but I still would have meet total PR.
Yeah.
I've held all 4 world records this year in my weight class at the same time. So there's been some positives, but just all in all, I think I am stronger physically, but mentally I'm just not as strong right now. And I'm getting back home soon to New Zealand in the next 8 to 10 weeks, which I'm really excited about.
Back in your home gym.
Back in my home gym. Back having a car, just being able to do things when I want to do them and go about the things the way that I usually do, and I'm excited to use my strength that I know I'm stronger physically, get my mental game back to 100%, and get some good performances in 2017, and try and get that world title back.
Come on! Team BG, take it back! Come on! Come on! Easy way, motherfucker, come on!
Focus on the finish.
World champ, come on!
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in.
Easy!
Motherfucking pain.
Up, come on! Easy!
I'm a motherfucking pain.
Up! Drive it up! Woo! Fuck yeah! Woo! Woo! Fuck yeah! That's sick.
What is that? I'll back down to 4 plates now.
Wrapping up this video, we have a lot of awesome content coming, a lot of days of training coming ahead, of course. You have been training me for probably maybe a year or so now, a little bit less than a year maybe?
It'll be about 8 months, I'd say.
8 months. I have to say, I've worked with a few different people, and you are by far and away the best coach I've worked with, hands down. And that's not a shot at anybody, it's just a simple fact. You have pointed out like the smallest, most subtle details in the smallest aspects of my form and technique that nobody else, not even coaches, just even other powerlifting friends, nobody else has ever noticed or pointed out.
Yeah.
So you say that you have a pretty technical eye when it comes to training?
Yeah, I like to try and always better my knowledge myself. Try to look for the small details, because as we progress and try and reach our potential or increasing weight, all those small percentages are going to count towards actually just getting stronger in general. We need to try to stay injury free, so we need to make sure we're moving as efficient as we can. And yeah, that's why I think you really need to have a technical eye when you are a coach, not just sort of throwing someone some numbers and just telling them to do it. So
for sure. So that's it, guys. 180 pounds, 25 years old, natural, 661 pound squat, 465 pound bench, 705 pound deadlift, all raw. Brett Gibbs, my coach. Subscribe to him in the YouTube channel below. Enjoy the following videos to come.
Come on, good fast single, let's go. 1, 2, really good, really good.
Team BG, take it back! Come on! Come on! Come on!
Hello.